guys to name the bone, and the bone's sitting there, and I might ask 3 questions per station. And this time, instead of sitting in the same place, I will have you guys move like every minute and a half. And so you'll be at one spot, and I'll say name the bone and maybe name 2 parts. And then I'll say, okay, everybody get up and move, and then all of you will move. And you'll sit in the second spot. And so it's like musical chairs around the room. So the score will be roughly 25% of your 100 points, so make sure you know it. So let's just practice right now. Name this bone. Bone. Purple bone. When I say bone, that means the whole thing. When I say part, that means just that little area. Name this part right here. Frontal squama. Yeah, that's the frontal squama. Name this bulge here. Yeah, that's called the superciliary arch. Maybe think your eyebrows are kind of like cilia, and it's right behind your eyebrow. Okay, watch this because you go from supra to super here. What's this? I'm not with it. I'm at the other way around. Is this supra or super? I tried super. Yeah, super like Superman. Maybe think Superman has big eyebrow ridges. Yeah. Superciliary arch. What's this then? Supraorbital margin. Supra means above. And that is either a notch or a framing. Yeah, you can use either one. So if I point to that or that, that's the supraorbital notch or framing. Okay, that's about it. I'll show you sutures on another one. What are these 2 little white bones here? How about this purple one we just did? Maxilla. Anybody know that hole yet? Infraorbital framing. Yeah, that's supraorbital. This one's infraorbital framing. What do you call the part with the teeth? Alveolar process or border or margin. And the mandible has that too. Name the little red bone there. Vomer. Good. Name that bone. Inferior nasal concha. Yeah, inferior nasal concha. That's it for that one. It's its own bone. So that's all you have to remember. This is hard to see, but what if I say name this part coming down to the perpendicular plane? If I ask you what bone that's on? Ethmoid. That's something ethmoid. What are these 2 bones? Zygomatic. Anybody know that red bone back there? Oral. That's the sphenoid. That's the sphenoid. The sphenoid is that butterfly bone, and it's right in the center of your skull. So you can see it from almost any direction, because it's right in the center. You can see it through the orbits. If you take off the calvarium, you can look down and see parts of it. You can look under the skull and see parts. And you can go on the outside of the skull. So you can see the sphenoid from any direction on the skull, and the reason is it's right smack dab in the center. Have you guys memorized this black line yet? Orbital fissure. Yeah, that's the superior orbital fissure. There's one that comes down, it's hard to see. Inferior orbital fissure. I don't know if you've realized this yet, but this is actually, because I pointed it out to you on the other side, this is actually the greater wing of the sphenoid here, and the lesser wings up there, with the superior orbital fissure between them. Okay. Infraorbital framing? No. Think of it something else. Oh, it's hard to see. Inferior orbital fissure. Yeah. Go this way. It's hard. I have another slide to show you. Anybody know these 2 holes? Mental framing. Let's go to that. Okay, this doesn't have any colors on it. Name the suture. Name the suture. Yeah, either squamous or squamosal, either way. Name the bone. Right, name the bone. Name the bone. Name this bone. This one. And this one. Okay, this one is hard for me to point out in lecture, but I will point it out in lab, guys. There's a little hole for tears called the lacrimal fossa. What bone would be right here? Lacrimal bone. Yeah, it's hard to see on the slide. I'll pass around a little plastic skull that shows it. There's a flat thing behind it called the lamina orbitalis. And it's on the ethmoid. I'll show you another slide. What's this bone here? Okay, on the mandible, what's this round part? Oh, mandibular contact. This is the coronoid process, mandibular notch, angle, range, yeah. Yeah, and the body for the rest of that. The mandible fits into what part of the temporal bone? Mandibular fossa. If you guys see a suture right here, what part on the temporal bone is behind the suture? Zygomatic or process. Now I'm in front of the suture. What is that part? Temporal process. Both of those make up the zygomatic. Okay, there's an extra little bone here that I'm not going to ask you, but there's a little piece of the sphenoid right here, and I know it's hard for you guys to see. It looks like a wing, and it is a wing. It's actually the top of the greater wing. So I'll show you that in class, but that little piece right there is the greater wing of the sphenoid. What's this hole in the temporal bone? External auditory canal, or you could say acoustic meatus, yeah. The bump? Mastoid process. It's supposed to be a mastoid foramen back. It's too hard to see, so let's just get rid of it. I should have waited on this one. Let's do teeth here. Name these two teeth. Incisors, that one? Either canine or cuspid. Those two? Yeah, premolars or bicuspids and molars. And that's a little zygomatical facial foramen that I omitted. It's a little tiny there. I don't like this angle a whole lot. So. There's a piece cut out here. This is what on the temporal bone? Thyroid process. What bone attaches to that? The hyoid bone. Yeah, a ligament. It's a bioligament. Okay, if I ask you folks this whole area here, it's one of the fossa. Anterior cranial fossa. Those two make up the middle cranial fossa, and back here. Okay, do you guys remember the dural sinuses carry blood down from your brain? And it's hard to see them here, but let's say we're following the blood here, and I get right about there. It's called a confluence of sinuses, and then the blood goes this way. Transverse sinus, and then down in here. Sigmoid sinus, and the regular foramen, yeah. Okay, this is the internal, what? What's that big hole? That's the biggest one. What's this thing that looks like a hump? Deepest portion, anybody know what bone that's on? Temporal bone. That's, you just mentioned that, that's the jugular foramen. This hole is what Ross, you guys remember the ROS thing we did? What Ross falls into when he gets lacerated, so what is that? That's foramen lacerum. But this is kind of tricky, guys. There's another canal coming from the side here, and I'll have to show you in class. It's called the carotid canal. So foramen lacerum is where you see the black, and carotid canal is kind of coming from the side, and I'll point out both of those in class. The ROS thing is here, foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, foramen spinosum. This is an O opening. Optic canal between is the optic groove. These are what wings here? Lesser, and down here are the greater wings. Your pituitary sits in what dip? I'll also accept hypophyseal fossa. Longer. So you guys can say celicursical or hypophyseal fossa. The back of the saddle is called the dorsum celli. On the occipital bone, anybody know what the smooth part is called? The basilar part or clivus. They call it the basilar part because it's at the base of the brain, or base of the skull, rather, which is at the bottom of the skull. Okay, anybody know what bone is sitting right in here? Ethmoid, yeah. There's a piece that sticks up like the sail on a sailboat. Golly. What are all these little holes called? Olfactory foramina. They're sitting in what plate? Curvilinear plate. There's a little tiny hole there. Yeah, foramen cecum and internal occipital. They didn't cut through it, but normally there's a sinus right about here. Frontal sinus. It's part of the paranasal sinuses. What other three bones have paranasal sinuses besides the frontal bone? Ethmoid, sphenoid, and maxillary. Axilla, yeah. The ethmoid is big. You don't see those sinuses, by the way. I did point them out in class, guys. So know your paranasal sinuses in a picture. I don't know if I brought it or not. I don't think I did. Yeah, I didn't bring it. But know the paranasal sinuses in the picture. You don't see it because the ethmoid sinuses would be right under here. The sphenoid sinus would be right under the sella turcica. You do see the frontal sinus in that one skull that I showed you walking around the room, but the others just know it in a picture. I'm gonna see if you know any of this stuff here. At the back of your skull, there's a big bump. I think I forgot it on Wednesday. I'm so sorry, Wednesday, guys. There's a big bump right there. You can feel it at the back of your skull. It's called the external occipital protuberance. And there's this line that goes through it. There's this line that goes through it called the superior nuchal line. And it kind of looks like, let me turn on the lights a little bit. So you can see. Wake you guys up a little bit also. So you're looking at the back of the skull. This pen is no good. You're looking at the back of the skull, and this pen works. You'll see a big old bump that's called the external occipital protuberance. It's a long name. It's not that big. And one of these lines goes through it. The other little line is kind of under it, and the third line goes through the center, ending at the foramen magnum. They kind of look like birds disappearing off into the sunset. You guys ever see anybody draw birds like this? Kind of flying up. That's what they remind me of. Anyway, so it kind of looks like that here. So on this slide, there's sometimes a little okay, so if I ask you guys this line up here, that's the superior nuchal line. This is hard to see, but it's kind of right in here. Inferior nuchal line, one through the center. And median nuchal line, The textbook calls it something else. I think she's calling it the external occipital crest. So I'll take that also. Let me tell you something to watch out for. I don't want you to miss a half a point. There is a difference between middle versus